One of the many regulatory challenges the ship owners are facing, of course, is Ecdis. There's a rolling schedule for ship owners to install these navigation tools onto bridges now and in the future. It's a complex investment decision. With me is Paul Hailwood, independent navigation consultant working with the UKHO at the moment. You've been helping assess some of these challenges. Can you just run through me what it is that ship owners are facing at the moment?
The big challenge is the transition from paper charts across to Ecdis, and what does that actually involve? On the face of it, it would seem that it's just a simple installation of software and hardware. But of course, in reality, it's a cultural change, including procedures and training, and that is a time-consuming process. And a big challenge is actually achieving the deadlines within the time frame given.
It's an investment decision on the behalf of the ship owners. From what you've seen, how would you say the ship owners are reacting to this? Would they be above an average curve of installations or below? Is there a risk of ship owners being non-compliant according to their dates?
I think there is a risk as it stands at the moment with the uptake as we move towards the 1st of July 2015 for existing tankers over 3,000 tonnes. There is a risk that certain ships, a significant proportion of ships, would not achieve that deadline. It's still possible we could achieve it, but companies need to source the level of support and understand the actual strategy now in order to achieve that deadline within a realistic time.
How long would you say it takes from the thought I need to put an Ecdis system on board to having a system, whether one Ecdis or two or maybe three, to having that system on board, fully functioning and having it working as efficiently as you possibly can?
Of course, a lot of that depends upon the fleet size and the area operating, etc. But as a rule of thumb, based on our experience, if you've got about 20 ships operating, you would be looking at 18 months as a minimum to get your actual, and that's based upon having the resources available to achieve that.
That's 18 months per ship, and if you've got a large fleet of tankers, that might be having to span that out a little bit. Is there the risk, though, that the services that are required might find themselves up against a bottleneck?
Yeah, and that's where we really have got a big risk now, because yes, we could have said 18 months maybe 3 or 4 years ago, where colleges and training providers didn't have a problem with taking in people in Ecdis training. But now, as the deadline is very close, the support systems required for the adoption of Ecdis are under a lot of pressure to achieve that. So it will be difficult now to find an organisation that can provide you 18 months of training on your own, because every other company is looking for that level of training.
With those risks being quite high, I would assume that there is also the risk that there's going to be some ship owners that come to summer next year and they don't have an Ecdis on board. What are the challenges, or what are the experiences of detentions or companies facing some sort of penalty for not actually having the right equipment?
For not having the correct adoption of Ecdis. They might have the right equipment, but they might not have the right training, they might not have the right procedures. But we can see that now on the detention list, we can see that today, that actual Ecdis detentions is growing more and more across Europe, it's growing across Australia. You can start to look at vetting inspections, SIRE reports, and we're starting to see deficiencies and observations due to Ecdis or not having a strategy for the adoption of Ecdis. So it's very clear that exists. Now, how a shipping company, a shipping operator or charterers are going to face that come that deadline, then that's something they have to assess that risk now.
When you're leading these workshops and you're talking to the ship owners about some of these challenges, what's the level of understanding that you're seeing from the people that you're talking to in the industry?
Well, the whole reason for establishing the workshops from the UKHO is that they realised that there was a limited level of knowledge or understanding or clarity. So it's not as though anyone didn't have it, it's not a question of incompetence, it's a clarity, because there seem to be so many different opinions and so many different interpretations. So the benefit of what the UK Hydrographic Office has done is say we need someone in the industry to stand up and give one clear objective overview as to what are the issues facing. And we're very clear on these seminars saying what questions do you have, what issues do you have, UKHO and the Admiralty team will try to address those. They will address those issues either from my side as an industry expertise and experience, or on a technical side from the Hydrographic Office, who are producers of the ENCs and the systems supporting it.
And a final question here, just about the technology itself. If an owner has to go and look for what sort of technology they want, what's the range of Ecdis systems that are on the market now?
Well, the range is quite vast. Although there's a performance standards, of course, interpretations upon that performance standards varies, and then there's valid added extras which manufacturers will put on top of that. So the choice of the ship owner is quite broad, and again, a key part we were asked for and supported by the UK Hydrographic Office was support in establishing an Ecdis buyer's guide. And when we actually look at that buyer's guide, it is not just a cost issue. You've got to be thinking about support maintenance. You've got to be thinking about, is training included? How long is this company going to be trading for in the future? What level of support do they provide? Do they provide 24 hours? Do they provide Skype support? All these key issues have a very important part in the adoption of Ecdis, and it is significantly more than just cost.
Paul, thank you very much.
Thank you.